The views, conversations, and opinions expressed on this channel could be subjective or objective and are also for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. Here on The Mix, we encourage and implore you to conduct your own research.
Hey everyone, welcome to The Mix. Like this video, share this video, and subscribe. Hit that subscription button, you guys. It's free to like, it's free to share. It is free to subscribe. As you can see what this video is going to be about, yes, chaos erupts over federal funding pause. Freezing of federal funds that impacts so many different programs from a federal level that trickles down to each state. So, but before I dive into my commentary, reaction, and opinion and share this clip with you guys, again, subscribe. And if you are interested in dropping comments, keep it respectful and peaceful in the chat. If you're interested in donating, hit that Cash App, Zelle, and PayPal. It's in the description section of this post. Now, I don't want to hold you guys, so I'm gonna jump right into the clip, and I'll be giving my reaction here and there, but this will also help provide some insight and some woosah, because there's a lot of misinformation, fake news out there, and people, outlets, mainstream, independent, whomever, they are putting an unfavorable spin on this. So basically Trump, yes, he is putting a federal freeze on a lot of different programs, but the White House secretary is here to give everyone some clarity as to what is actually impacted or not. She's not going to go over everything, but it will help gain some clarity for everyone. And this is what I was trying to say the other day, because it was just mayhem. The internet went up in flames. Everybody was just had meltdowns, everybody. And to me, it was fake outrage, because clearly they wasn't listening, or clearly they just don't understand regulations, language, and all of that stuff, and or clearly there was intentional to spin the story to create outrage. Was mission accomplished. So hey, we can agree to disagree. This may be unpopular opinion, but I just found it to be fake outrage. And of course, when it comes to spending, it should be reviewed. It's just like spending in your household. If something don't make dollars, it don't make sense, you're not spending money. You're not going to dine out all the time when you got 4 or 5 kids. No, you're not. That doesn't make sense. You're going to be on a budget. So that's what essentially Trump's executive order is targeting, a lot of wasteful spending. Let's just keep it at that. Yeah, he call it DEI, whatever, etc., but it's a lot of wasteful spending. And if it don't make sense, okay, get rid of it. So in my opinion, I see nothing wrong with that. But here we go.
We've asked your predecessors, both parties in this job, when you're up here in this briefing room speaking to the American public, do you view yourself and your role as speaking on, advocating on behalf of the president, or providing the unvarnished truth that is, not to lie, not to obfuscate to the American people?
I commit to telling the truth from this podium every single day. I commit to speaking on behalf of the President of the United States. That is my job. And I will say it's very easy to speak truth from this podium when you have a president who is implementing policies that are wildly popular with the American people, and that's exactly what this administration is doing. It's correcting the lies and the wrongs of the past 4 years, many of the lies that have been told to your faces in this very briefing room. I will not do that. But since you brought up Truth Seek, I would like to point out, while I vowed to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed this president about his family.
Okay, you guys, let me just pause really quickly and interject. This is the White House press secretary by President Trump. This is who you remember Joe Biden had his White House press secretary. So of course, when you become president, you bring pretty much in your own team. So this is Caroline Levitt, and right now she's on fire. And I spoke about this on my channel about misinformation and the media and their fake news and fake outrage. In my opinion, when it comes to, I guess, depending on the political side of the aisle you're on, my thing is right, wrong, or indifferent. It should be told the truth, and why put a spin to it? Do I agree with everything Trump says? Absolutely not. However, for the most part, he'd be pretty much on target with certain things. So let's continue to hear what Caroline, the White House press secretary, says, and then go from there.
We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House. So yes, I will hold myself to the truth, and I expect everyone in this room to do the same.
Substantive question. Yesterday, the White House Office of Management and Budget directed across the board freeze, exception for individual assistance, we understand, to federal grants. It's caused a lot of confusion around the country. Head Start providers, among providers services to homeless veterans, Medicaid providers, states saying they're having trouble accessing the portal. Could you help us clear up some confusion, give some certainty to folks, and also, is that uncertainty, how does that uncertainty service the president's voters?
Okay, really quickly, let me interject. Again, this is speaking of the federal freezing of funds. Trump implemented this via executive order. It was put on pause by a judge until Tuesday, just to gain more clarity and to eliminate any confusion. Like I said before on a couple of my social media platforms when this EO was dropped and all that misinformation, in my opinion, was spewed out there into the eco internet system, that Medicaid is not getting cut, people still get their EBT food stamps, school lunches is not getting cut, student loan Pell Grants program is still up. So I just didn't understand where was all this outrage and the lies. Why was that, just even happening? But here we go. Caroline is finna give everyone clarification. Here we go.
There's only uncertainty in this room amongst the media. There's no uncertainty in this building. So let me provide the certainty and the clarity that all of you need. This is not a blanket pause on federal assistance and grant programs from the Trump administration. Individual assistance, that includes, I'm not naming everything that's included, but just to give you a few examples, Social Security benefits, Medicare benefits, food stamps, welfare benefits, assistance that is going directly to individuals will not be impacted by this pause. And I want to make that very clear to any Americans who are watching at home who may be a little bit confused about some of the media reporting. This administration, if you are receiving individual assistance from the federal government, you will still continue to receive that. However, it is the responsibility of this president and this administration to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars. Something that President Trump campaigned on. That's why he has launched DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, who is working alongside OMB. And that's why OMB sent out this memo last night, because the president signed an executive order directing OMB to do just this. And the reason for this is to ensure that every penny that is going out the door is not conflicting with the executive orders and actions that this president has taken. So what does this pause mean? It means no more funding for illegal DEI programs. It means no more funding for the Green New scam that has cost American taxpayers tens of billions of dollars. It means no more funding for transgenderism and wokeness across our federal bureaucracy and agencies. No more funding for Green New Deal social engineering policies. Again, people who are receiving individual assistance, you will continue to receive that. And President Trump is looking out for you by issuing this pause because he is being good steward of your taxpayer dollars.
Okay, y'all. Hey. Let her cook. Hey, let her cook. Caroline is cooking, in my opinion, in my most humble opinion. What are your thoughts? Drop some comments in the chat. Hopefully this clarifies things for you all. Hopefully this clears up some things from you, for you. I knew initially that no, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't cripple from a federal level every freaking program. Absolutely not. So what he's doing is taking a fine-tooth comb and combing through what was there before he became president again, meaning he's combing through whatever the Biden administration had on the table and getting rid of stuff to save money, taxpayers' money, your dollar, my dollar. We pay taxes here, American citizens who was born here and pay taxes. Yes, this is our money. So they're trying to manage our money properly, like you would manage your money, hopefully within your household. So here we go.
How long is this pause going to last, demanding that organizations that rely on federal funding make payroll, pay their rent in the meantime?
It is a temporary pause, and the Office of Management and Budget is reviewing the federal funding that has been going out the door. Again, not for individual assistance, but for all of these other programs that I mentioned. I also spoke with the incoming director of OMB this morning, and he told me to tell all of you that the line to his office is open for other federal government agencies across the board, and if they feel that programs are necessary and in line with the president's agenda, then the Office of Management and Budget will review those policies. I think this is a very responsible measure. Again, last 4 years, we've seen the Biden administration spend money like drunken sailors. It's a big reason we've had an inflation crisis in this country, and it's incumbent upon this administration to make sure, again, that every penny is being accounted for honestly.
Why impose this pause with so little notice? Why not give organizations more time to plan that they are about to lose, in some cases, really crucial federal funding, at least for a period of time?
There was notice. It was the executive order that the president signed. There's also a freeze on hiring, as you know, a regulatory freeze, and there's also a freeze.
Let me just pause. When it's a freeze, that means that they're reviewing, you guys. That's what I just didn't understand, the outrage. It's a freeze, pause, tomato. It's the review process. So we're reviewing this to see if we're going to eliminate this or scale back. What is this for? To my understanding, you guys, they were funding condoms. Reports have been cited that they have been funding condoms, balloon condoms, something like that, for a whole nother continent, excuse me. So it's like, what? With our taxpayers' dollars. So I think that was like 50 million. So that makes absolutely no sense. So the Biden administration cutting checks to foreign 50 million for balloon condoms. Yeah. With your money, my money. So I heard that Trump was like, hell no, let's get rid of that. So this is just, they're combing through, they're scaling through things, trying to see what makes sense, what doesn't, where to scale back with your money, my money. So it could be more money in our pockets, you guys. So just, here we go.
foreign aid. And this is, again, incredibly important to ensure that this administration is taking into consideration how hard the American people are working. Just during this pause, DOGE and OMB have actually found that there was $37 million that was about to go out the door to the World Health Organization, which is an organization, as you all know, that President Trump, with the swipe of his pen in that executive order, is no longer wants the United States to be a part of. So that wouldn't be in line with the president's agenda. DOGE and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza.
Okay, y'all. I stand correct, Gaza, as you hear. I heard something like that. So she's saying it. Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, is coming from her mouth. And that's ridiculous as hell. 50 million for condoms in Gaza. Your money, my money. Okay.
Waste of taxpayer money. So that's what this pause is focused on, being good stewards of tax.
Who advised the president on the legality of telling government agencies that they don't have to spend money that was already appropriated by Congress?
Well, as the OMB memo states, this is certainly within the confines of the law. So White House counsel's office believes that this is within the president's power to do it, and therefore he's doing it.
Okay, so they disagree with lawmakers who say that they don't have the power to freeze this funding.
Again, I would point you to the language in the memo that clearly states this is within the law.
And on what happened on Friday night, the administration fired several inspectors general without giving Congress the 30-day legally required notification that they were being fired. I think only 2 were left at DHS and the DOJ. And then yesterday we saw several prosecutors, I believe 12, fired from the Justice Department who worked on the investigations into the president. As you know, they are career prosecutors, therefore they are afforded civil service protections. How is the administration deciding which laws to follow and which ones to ignore?
So it is the belief of this White House and the White House counsel's office that the president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch that he wishes to. There's also a case that went before the Supreme Court in 2020, Scala Law LLC versus the Customs Bureau Protection. I would advise you to look at that case, and that's the legality that this White House was resting.
She's citing case law. I love a prepared person. She's citing case law. Yeah, bring your receipts, mama. Love it. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Hey, wasteful spending. I see nothing wrong. He sent out a memo. It's just like someone running an organization. Have you guys ever been laid off? I have plenty of times. So they come in, the new sheriff's in town, and they give you notice. Things getting shook up, restructures in an organization, and people start receiving notices. So what? Here we go.
Bring lawsuits against you if prosecutors were fired, that they will succeed.
We will win in court.
And did he personally direct this, given they worked on the classified documents investigation and the election interference investigation?
This was a memo that went out by the Presidential Personnel Office, and the president is the leader of this White House, so yes.
Okay, everyone. So what are your thoughts? Drop some comments in the chat. Do you feel a little better? All the outrage, people was having meltdowns and about to pass out online for no reason. For no freaking reason, in my opinion. Yes. So the federal freeze, it's affecting different programs, and the most important ones like Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, I think financial aid and food stamps, EBT, and I think housing. It's not going to be touched. Those programs are safe, in my opinion, for now, based off of what Caroline Leavitt was saying. So I can't read the future or whatever, but hey, it is what it is when it comes to things. I mean, the federal government is here for a reason, to help the states, but of course it has to make sense. It has to make sense in whatever capacity that looks like, and that may look like, from a financial perspective. But let me know your thoughts down in the chat. Do you feel that this is something that you, I guess, believe, or do you think it's just a bunch of malarkey, a bunch of talk just to be talking, and that you don't believe the White House press secretary, what she cited? So, but yeah, I haven't heard of anyone's public assistance being cut off, or Medicaid or Medicare. I have not heard of anyone housing being cut off. So I don't know if y'all know anyone who has of anyone who has been impacted by the federal freeze and the pause in terms of EBT, food stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. And please be truthful. Be truthful. But like this video, share this video. Thank you guys for your support, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.